mean, we did Antisocial last year, which was very like recent, and it's all about technology and social media, and it's very kind of up with the times. I think this one we wanted to go back to the movies that we all grew up on and loved watching, kind of the iconic villains like the Freddys and Jasons and stuff. And I mean, we kind of I don't know, it was just something that was, you know, always fun to watch, and we always thought it would be amazing to actually be able to make one of those characters that, you know, has a nice juicy backstory, and, you know, it's kind of a little out of reality, you know, like Freddy, like he's the bastard child of 1,000 maniacs. It doesn't make any sense at all, but it sounds awesome, you know. So it's kind of fun to kind of skip reality a little bit and kind of create these characters that you have no real boundaries with. So it was it was just, we wanted to make something that, you know, we could have watched at, you know, a sleepover on VHS when we were kids, you know.
What I'm seeing, it's in your head. This is different. I'm seeing this man.
The end of the 90s, it jumped into like torture porn and, you know, found footage stuff and like all these kind of other genres of horror, and there's just this giant gap where there's no real solid iconic villains, you know. And I mean, they're out there for sure, but I mean, you know, you go to conventions and it's still, you know, Robert Englund and Kane Hodder, like they're classics, and they're just like, there's a gap where it was just empty. So I mean, I'm always looking for something like that to watch. Like if anything like that comes out, you know, I'll watch the Hatchets and all those. But I mean, it was just we just wanted to kind of jump back into the kind of bringing one of those into the horror genre again, I guess.
This is an intervention, Maddie. People overcome their fears all the time.
It's so much fun to just kind of create the stories behind them. Like the Drownsman, the idea behind him is that he was in the womb too long. Like he was in his mother's womb for over 2 years, and when he was born, she died, and the father blamed it on him, and he grew up in a miserable life. And but he could always remember being like that safe spot, like because he was old enough. He was like a 2-year-old boy, so he has memories of being in the womb and like hearing his mother's heartbeat underwater, kind of thing. So it's like as he gets older, he ends up he starts to kidnap these women, and he brings them down into this filthy basement under his house, and he holds them underwater so that he can kind of relive that sensation of being in the womb and feeling like a woman's heartbeat. Anyway, so I mean, we have, like, you know, we could write a novel about the backstory of them. It's so hard because, you know, not that much actually gets into the movie, but I don't know, if we do sequels, we'll...
We open ourselves up to communicate with whoever it is that wishes to speak to Madison.
I would love to do more of them, for sure. It was a huge challenge doing this movie because we just underestimated water, I guess. It's like, it's impossible to deal with. Like, people say in film, don't shoot with kids, animals, or water because you can't control any of it. And oh my God, it's like every day we had water gags, and I'd just sit there at lunch and I'd be staring at this bucket of water being like, oh, it's so frustrating, because it's like, then we'd go and there's a lot of things that we'd have a sink, and then like, we'd have to shoot the stuff with the sink first, and then we're gonna put a girl in, and we're gonna cut the bottom out, and we're gonna put this contraption underneath so that she can get sucked in, and it's like, you can't test it really, unless we didn't have the money to buy a ton of these things and test them all. So, I mean, I'd be sitting there at lunch all stressed out while everyone's inside going, all right, so if we cut around there and then seal that, and then if we do a trim there, and then that has to dry a little bit, but then the water pressure there is gonna, like, there's just so many, like, it was like physics class every day, and me and the production designer Vince, we would just, it was fun, but it was just stressful because there was days where it's like, all right, we're good, and all of a sudden it would just burst open, and we had a washing machine. Like, try getting someone's hand to come out of a washing machine. It's really hard.
He's here.
No, he's not. He's not real.